episode number 132 of the Canadian Prepper Podcast. We are recording on October the 3rd, 2021. My name is Eric, the host of the show, based in Southern Ontario, hunter, target shooter, ham radio operator, and computer geek. As a first responder, I witnessed an over-reliance on emergency services during major events, started in a small preparedness company to help people get better prepared for at least 72 hours, if not longer.
I'm Alan. I'm a safety trainer, first responder, security expert, overall safety nerd, and I apologize to the viewers in the live chat. We were waiting for Ian, and he's not here, so that's why it took us an extra minute to come on the air.
And it begins.
I'm Jeff, not Ian. I'm based in Central Ontario. I'm a target shooter and general overall handyman.
You're not the soon-to-be handyman or soon-to-be ham radio operator yet?
I just was waiting to see if somebody was actually legitimately paying attention. Clearly, Brad, you're the only one. So,
hey guys, I'm Brad. I'm from Eastern Ontario. I've been in preparedness since the ice storm of '98, constantly trying to better myself, and I consider myself a part-time amateur prepper.
And if you want to help support the show and keep the Canadian Prepper Podcast on the air, you can buy some swag. We've got the Canadian Prepper Podcast t-shirt and the tactical Velcro patch at prepperpodcast.ca. All proceeds help keep the lights on, the backup generator fueled, and the search for Ian continuing.
If you are enjoying the show, please take a few minutes and like us on Facebook, submit a review on iTunes. We also want your feedback, good or bad, even if there's just a topic you want us to cover. The topic of where Ian is not up for discussion at this particular time. You can email us at feedback@prepperpodcast.ca.
Also, if you'd like to join the search, you can email us as well. All right, so we've got some frosty content for you in this episode. We're going to start off with some preparedness-related news articles. Next, we'll let you know what we've done for our preparedness since the last episode. Then we're going to get into the main topic, getting ready for Old Man Winter, because, yep, it's just around the corner. I know. Let's move into the news.
The three articles I put in here are following a bit of a theme. See if you can find the common thread between them. The first one is from Global News here in Canada, says that Alberta is asking for military assistance for the hospitals. The second article I put in is from the U.S. It says the state of New York is replacing fired hospital workers with the National Guard. If you dig a little deeper into that, all those workers were terminated because they refused to get vaccinated, and the National Guard, who is not under mandate to be vaccinated, will be replacing them. Third article I put in here is from BBC, and it is showing how the Australian military, or Australia, is using their military to enforce lockdowns in Melbourne and other parts of the country. I'll let you draw the conclusions.
Things just keep getting more and more interesting. So I've got an article here from Nanaimo, and it just says October is dedicated to emergency preparedness in Nanaimo. So just an interesting article that people are starting to focus on emergency preparedness again, and it's not COVID related, so that's kind of nice.
That's really strange, given that September was Emergency Preparedness Month, which, by the way, we managed to not acknowledge in any way, shape, or form. Not very well prepared of us.
Well, we all failed. That's just
we were too busy looking for Ian. Yeah. In all fairness, it's Ian's fault. He
totally
was just a show notes for us.
Yeah, we're just
and
we're disorganized.
An article there. There's a large volcanic eruption going on in Canary Islands. It's been going on for a couple of days, but apparently it's getting increasingly, quote, agitated, as they say. There's been close to 1,200 homes destroyed. At the beginning of the volcano, of course, there was lots of smoke and toxic gases, and basically forced people to stay in their homes. It was so bad that basically, if you went out without any breathing protection, you ended up in the hospital. So,
yikes!
See, that is really good reason to wear masks outdoors.
I would agree.
That is a good reason to do it.
Yeah,
I'll let you draw your own conclusions.
That's how the night's going to go, is it? Everybody just draws their own conclusion. So we just draw the conclusion to carbon monoxide and be done with it, or?
Oh no, I've got like 5 more carbon monoxide points to make first.
4 minutes, 57 seconds for those of you keeping track.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into what we've done lately for preps. You're up, Jeff.
So I closed up my mom's trailer. She's got a trailer at a campsite over the summer, so I closed it up for the winter, drained all the water lines, put antifreeze down all the traps and the sinks and all that stuff. And I changed the belts on my snowblower. I noticed when I did my spring shutdown on them that a couple of the belts were starting to get cracked, so I replaced them. And I swapped out the summer bag in my truck for my winter one. I know it's not that cold yet, but it was on my mind, and I figured I better do it while I'm thinking about it, or I will not do it. So.
It's better to wait, be prepared.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
That's weird for this podcast.
I know. It's a brand new concept.
So for myself, I watched an episode of the Ham Radio Crash Course, which I've watched quite a few episodes, but Josh, who hosts that, did a live stream last night on Automatic Packet Reporting System, or APRS. And thanks, Josh. Now I got to go buy another radio. But it seems like I'm completely blaming Josh and the Ham Radio Crash Course because of that episode. But a neat little setup, and I can see all kinds of uses in the preparedness world for the system. So I'm going to start playing around with that, and maybe we'll do a Ham Radio version 3. But Jeff, you can't come out until you're licensed.
I think this should be 4.
All right, I'll go to the back.
Less room on the shelf now, right?
Oh, there's always room for another radio. Always.
Radios are like ice cream. They don't actually take up any room.
No.
They don't really count for anything. They're just there, and they're fantastic.
No, as I sit here, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I got lots of room.
I've 9 within direct contact, and that doesn't include the ones that are in use. I finally got the exterior of my garage finished. It is a fully sealed building. The siding is on, the roof is done, the eaves and soffit, and it's fantastic. Now I'm waiting on Hydro One so I can get the power in, and then I can move on. So that's now it's somebody else's fault that I'm not ready to go and not me. I also, in terms of direct preparedness items, I checked my carbon monoxide detectors in honor of Fire Safety Week, which starts today.
So 7 minutes, 32 seconds for you talking about it unprompted. Again, for those with scorecards.
7 minutes and also 5 weeks without Ian.
Yeah, this is true. Who knows? Ian's got to come back at some point.
That is true.
We are still actively recruiting, though, so if anybody would like to replace Ian, feedback at prepperpodcast.ca. We don't know if he's ever coming back.
We hope so. We hope so.
We do
like
hope
Ian.
so.
It-
We do
Yeah.
like Ian.
He's not missing on purpose. We're just
No.
genuinely missing him.
Yeah, and as Kyle said in the live chat here, there's a rumor that if you say CGN deal 3 times, he'll magically show up. But I think you have to say it 3 times backwards, in the dark in the bathroom, into a mirror.
Into a mirror.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
I had a pretty busy week. All I'd had time for was cleanup and a little bit of organizing and cleanup in my storage room in the basement. But things are getting there. Total rearranging of that room, and it'll get there.
Yep.
Yeah, it takes time.
And by the time you're done, you'll find 5
Oh,
more
yeah.
things that you want to change. It's usually how it works anyway.
Of course, right?
Kyle points out in the live chat as well, what about gasifiers? Good point. Scott is also missing this evening. He may as well get a little love from us as well. He hasn't been out for a little bit either, so
It's too busy building his gasifiers.
too busy building his gasifier.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of a legitimate
And for the
reason.
people with the scorecards, that was 9 minutes and 6 seconds.
And Scott's not even here.
I'm now 5 shots behind.
Oh, jeez. Well, we'll touch here on the wide area mag section. So just a reminder to everybody out there, panelists here, we like learning new things. There's some pretty intelligent people I like to think on the panel, especially with Ian not being here now. And there's lots of skills out there and talents that maybe those of us on the panel don't have. So we'd love to hear from you. If you've got a unique skill set, you've got a unique idea or a topic you'd like to cover, feedback at prepperpodcast.ca. you're welcome to come out and share your knowledge either with us live, spend the evening, bantering back and forth and cutting up Ian for not showing up. Or you can send us information and we'll gladly get it out there without you having to come on the show. So up to you, but if you've got a skill set or something that you think could help us out and we can get it out to listeners, please reach out and come out and join us or share the information. We'd love to hear
Bonus points if you have an opinion on carbon monoxide.
This is true. Or gasifiers.
Or with gasifiers.
Yeah. All right, let's move into the main topic, shall we?
So I think this is the fourth time I'm going to have to mention this. With winter coming, what do you do to get ready? The sooner you prepare for it, the better off it will be when you get those early season weather events that make us remember that we are Canadian and we only get 6 months of good construction weather a year. So my big one, only because Eric got all of his notes in before I did, have your fuel burning appliances serviced, make sure your chimneys are clean, and ensure everything is venting properly and sealed so that fumes don't get into your house. Also stock up on poo paper so that if you get stuck in for a few days, you're not using socks. That's about what I have. There's not much beyond that, in my opinion, that really matters. Everything else is secondary. As long as your carbon monoxide system is in check, you're good to go.
I'm going to take a second here to mention that Scott has showed up in the live chat.
So he's here. He's just
here. He's just not joining us on the.
He's just not joining us online.
So we're just going to revert back to cutting up Ian. Scott's here. So.
Well, at least somebody made the effort.
Yeah, he's sort of here, but he's sort of not. There's nothing wrong with cutting him up.
This is true. Well, we'll see.
He's participating.
He's
participating. So yeah, he gets a participation ribbon, I suppose.
Yeah,
that's all Scott's ever gotten.
Yikes! Shots fired. Here we go. All right. So I've listed out a few things here that I kind of go through. I like to split my preps in the way I rotate things and change things by season. It just kind of gives me a marker during the year as to when I start doing things. So when winter's starting to show up, I like to rotate fuel. And I might do that throughout the seasons as well. As my stock goes down, I'll obviously fill back up. But any kind of fuel I've got sitting around right now gets dumped into the vehicles. That way it gets burned off in the truck or the car or whatever. And then I have fresh stuff for the winter. So I'll fill up the jerry cans, put some stabilizer in there as well. So it's good to sit for the winter. And then I've got fresh stock. So I've got a couple of cans set aside. And then I've got my big jug as well. So I can fuel up the snowblower and all the fun snow toys. Yes, Jeff, I don't have a sled. I know.
Do you run premium in your, or do you store premium, or do you just store the regular stuff with stabilizer?
Just the regular stuff with stabilizer, and I've never had a problem. I know I'm going to get some hate mail now saying that, but to each their own with fuel.
Well, and if you're rotating it often enough, it shouldn't matter, right?
Yeah. No, I have yet to have a problem.
Yeah,
now saying that, I'm going to have a problem this winter, but
I have 6 jerry cans, and they're numbered. Each one has a double number on them: 1 and 7, 2 and 8. So I can 1 and 7 is for January and July. Mm-hmm. If I don't use it before then, I'll use it and then go and fill it and put it back in rotation so that it's set for that month.
I like that.
I like that. Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
get a big jug of Canadian Tire stabilizer, and make sure when you fill it, put in 2 or 3 tablespoons of stabilizer and shake it a little bit, or put the stabilizer in before you put the fuel in and put it away, and never have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like that rotation style. That's good.
I like it. That's a good one.
So I've got another thing on my list here is wood supply. Make sure it's sufficient. You're obviously going to know what you burn through, or you should know, unless it's your first time in a house with a wood stove or wood heating. But you should have a general idea of what's going to be sufficient for you to get through the winter. So just double check it. Make sure that you've got enough wood ready to go, and make sure it's close to the house, because it sucks trudging through snow to get wood. So just make sure it's close by and ready to go. The fun stuff: swapping out your bug out bag, go bag, whatever kind of bag you want to call it. It's time to swap out your summer stuff and put in your winter stuff. So you're going to swap out your extra clothes for some winter clothes. Throw a pair of gloves in there, a winter hat for a ball cap, hand warmers. Those things are fantastic to have with
Those are
you.
the best. If you don't have half a dozen, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Get half a dozen and then get another half
Sunglasses.
Yeah.
dozen. Yeah. Good call. Yeah. Always have those with me.
Yeah, an extra pair of sunglasses does wonders, especially in the winter. It gets so much worse in the winter.
Oh, does it ever?
Oh yeah.
Swap batteries in your carbon monoxide detector. I added
It
that
wasn't
just
me.
in case we didn't get to it. Just in case we didn't get to it yet, I added that to my list to kind of stoke the fire a little bit, but I didn't have to because I've already gone there twice. I charge up booster packs. So I've got that little booster pack I carry in my kit. So I always just throw it in the charger for the night, make sure that it's good to go and ready for the winter, because that's chances are that's when I'm gonna have to boost the truck is in the wintertime. So it's time to put the summer toys to bed. So, swap the oil out, get them ready for storage, and do that now while it's still semi-warm out, because it sucks doing that in the cold. So
It sure does.
Get them ready to go. Prep your generator for wintertime. So I know this is going to be really strange because we've never mentioned this on the podcast before, but test it, run it, know how it works.
Come
Really
on.
weird. I know.
Is that a thing?
If
People actually do that?
I know, right? So just make
I
sure it's
usually
ready to
just
go.
buy it and put it on the shelf.
Oh yeah, don't even take it out of the box, right?
That's how you keep it from rusting, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't rust that way. Swap out the oil, throw some fuel stabilizer in there, new set of plugs if you need them. If you don't, get extras. Even if you do, get extras. And then, like I said, run it and make sure all's in good order. And you may as well do it in October while it's not stifling hot out, but not freezing cold.
It's also a great time to wax your vehicle too. Like give it a
Yes.
good wash and wax. It's the perfect time to do it when it's not too hot.
Exactly. Yeah, I like October for that. It's just the right temperature out. Usually, there's the odd day where it's cold, but for the most part, it's good to get all kinds of stuff done because it's not too hot, not too cold. Speaking of waxing your vehicle, get it serviced. Time to book it in at least for the tire swap, because don't forget everybody else is going to do the mad dash when that first flake of snow floats in the air. They get their tires swapped. So start getting your vehicle, even if you don't want to do it now, get it booked in and get ready to swap out for winter tires. Those of you that don't like winter tires, well, that's fine. You can write me an email later and tell me I'm stupid for having them, but I like to have them. So
Whatever. It's not wrong to have them.
whatever. No, and it's not wrong to not have them. It's up to you.
I'm just
Personal
seeing a
opinion.
high of 29 tomorrow. So tomorrow. So
Yeah, so
I'm gonna maybe not do that yet, but
that's why I said book it in. You don't have to
Yeah.
do it yet, but book it in for the first week of November or whatever. Beat the rush.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, the way they're talking, you may not be able to wait till the 1st of November. There's the Farmer's Almanac, and a bunch of them are saying it's going to be an early snow.
Yeah, they've been saying that for the last 4 years though. And
I was going to say,
last year I used my snowboard.
Yeah,
twice.
not quite as much racket as if there has been this year, though. But you're right. They've said that for 4 years, and they've been wrong for 4 years. But
well, eventually
I-
they're going to be
I
right.
Really,
I'd love to have their job where you're wrong 90% of the time and you still get paid.
Yep, absolutely. You can't get fired from being a weatherman. Like even no matter how often you're wrong, it's great. 10%.
I think it's
10%
job
probability
requirement.
of precipitation.
Yep, done.
You're covered.
Yep.
Yep. I said there was a chance.
Yeah, there was, and yeah, hey,
And
it
then
did or didn't rain.
Yeah.
Inventory food stores. Great time to go through all your food stores, see what you've got, see what you don't have, see what's missing, and get ready, because there's a very high likelihood if we do get that big snowstorm that they're calling for this winter, you might be stuck for a couple of days. So make sure all your food stores are in order and everything is ready to go. And while you're doing that, you may as well check your water storage as well. See if you're getting low, or if maybe there's something missing, or what kind of state it's in. Maybe start swapping it out.
And how many life straws you have?
Yeah, how many life straws you have, because Ian's not here, so we can talk about life straws. Yeah.
And with the food stores, we were just talking about this off air. Actually, your PC Optimum points for the Canucks in the crowd. Great way to use, great thing to use those on. It doesn't end up costing you anything to top up and keep yourself well prepared.
Yeah, you got to love those points.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Check a secondary source of heat. So, we all, for the most part, rely on furnaces and whatever to keep your house warm, or fire, or whatever source you use. Check your secondary source. And if you don't have one, find one. So, make sure your fireplace is in good order. If you've got an electric heater as backup, make sure it's working and in good order. Just check your secondary source because you should have something just in case. Check and service sump pumps. Good time to do it.
Yes,
make sure they're
absolutely.
in good order.
Unless you're like me and you replace both of them this year, then you probably don't have to worry about it.
Probably not. Go over and just have a look. Make sure they're still there. Walk
Oh,
away.
Of course, now that you've said that, you will need to replace them.
Well, I mean, my sump pumps run 24 hours a day. Like I hear them at least once an hour, no matter what. So
Yep.
if I don't hear them, I recognize I don't hear them.
At least it's once an hour. Mine go every 30 seconds to a minute. So, yeah, that's fun.
That sucks.
Yeah. That is such is life. At least the basement's
bad.
not flooding. Yeah. High water table here. Inventory your winter gear. So make sure that you've got enough shovels, you've got enough salt for melting ice, you've got enough sand. All those tools and equipment that you're going to need to maintain your residence and make sure that you've got a clear path to get to and from. Make sure it's in good order, because nothing worse than the first big snowstorm realizing, oh, my shovel's not here, or it's broken, or it's not in a state where it can be used. So just make sure you have it.
Or it's in the back of the shed in the back of the yard, and you have to go trudging all the way across to get it.
Yeah, exactly. So make sure that you've got all that stuff ready to go, and it's in good order.
Pierre's getting in on the carbon monoxide here.
It's true. And
telling us to make sure that there's no propane inside the house. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
I like Unger here. My secondary heat supply is Jeff's wood pile.
Oh, see, my secondary heat supply is Jeff. As long as he's a big spoon, I'm never cold.
Well, Pierre's got a good point in the live chat here that hand warmer boxes are on sale at Costco. So now it's time to stock up. Those things are great.
Absolute lifesavers.
Here's a good
Pierre,
one
if
as
you're
well.
going this week, grab me one.
Do a full deep clean of all animal housing. Just grab the whole panel one. So do a full deep clean of animal housing before it gets all snowy. Good point.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
If that's a thing for you, then absolutely. Your rabbits and chickens and llamas and goats and
tigers and stuff. Oh my.
Chris has a good point in the live chat too. You can swap tires yourself as well. So good practice for emergency. So if you've never done it before, try it. See if you can do it yourself. Why not?
Yeah.
You don't have to book them if you've never done it before. The weather's decent right now to try it. So give it a whirl. Why not? Yeah,
I mean, worst case, you won't be able to go anywhere and have to,
I'm sure you can find someone. I'm sure you can find someone that can help you. YouTube will have a 13-year-old somewhere that can tell you how to do it and how to fix
Absolutely. And changing tires really isn't that big a deal.
Yeah.
The only real thing to be aware of is your bolting pattern and your torque. So, if you can't figure that out, then this probably isn't the podcast for you.
Probably not. No, I usually take my vehicle in. I get them to swap the tires, do the oil, do all that kind of fun stuff all in one go. Because why not?
Yeah, I'm the same. I just get it all serviced. I mean, I've got to have my oil changed at some point in the next few weeks, and I need brake pads, so I'm just going to let them do it all.
And Unger's got another point in the live chat. Vacuums out vehicles spring and fall and uses the generator to power that to test if it's working or not. And if it can do it
that's a great use.
That's a great point. Yeah,
because the vacuum
two birds, one stone.
And it's a big draw. Like it's not a it's not a small draw like plugging in an LED light or anything.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, it's worth it to give it some work.
Yep, absolutely. I like that. So next on my list here is check your gutters and clean them out.
Or install the no clean.
Yeah, I had that on my list too.
Yeah. Or do that. Yeah, get something figured out for your rain gutters, because once the snow melts, water's got to go somewhere. So
absolutely.
I
now have no gutters to clean ever again. It's great.
Yeah. Rub it in.
Yep. It's all in the planning.
That stuff is great. Gutter helmet is awesome.
Yep. It's fantastic.
Good to know. Might have to check that out.
Absolutely worth the investment. It's not expensive either. Like your whole house is under $200. The average house, anyways.
Yeah, probably.
So Pierre
I
mentions.
should definitely look into that because I know. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Brad.
I should actually look into that because my neighbor is a gutter guy and he sells the damn stuff and I could probably work a good deal to get it installed. But I just haven't had time to remember to go over and see him for it. So
there's this magical thing called the internet where you can send messages instantly.
I know, and I even have his phone number so I can text him.
Oh, look at that. Also, Pierre mentions in the live chat that the sale at Costco is $12 and you get 40 pairs of hand warmers.
That's a great deal.
That is
I might
deal.
I might go renew my membership just for that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I've also got on my list here, just take some time and walk your property. Clean up some debris. Clean up sticks and twigs and anything else that's laying around. And, why not make some pine cone fire starters or something while you're at it? Because you're going to have to start a fire at some point, I'm sure, because it's winter time and why not?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. And, it'll help you in the spring, but also it's a great time. I don't know about anywhere else, but this part of Ontario for sure has had a lot of rain over the last few weeks.
Yep.
And it's really easy to see the low points. Figure out where they are so that you can plan for the spring.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, there's all kinds of stuff you can do to get ready for the winter, and that's just a few. Mm-hmm. Okay. You got a few things, do you, Jeff?
Yeah, a lot of it's been covered. I just said, get all your summer toys serviced for the winter. Like you said, your fuel and your fuel stabilizer, your oil change. Lawnmowers, importantly, clean under your mower deck. Get rid of all the grass that sometimes sticks to the bottom of the deck there so it doesn't rot it from the bottom through. I also said, get your house ready for winter. Clean out the gutters like you said. But you know what? Check your weather stripping. Your weather stripping around your doors and windows. Make sure it's not cracked or broken or something's missing. If you've got, a room that you don't use or you've got a window that's maybe just a tad bit drafty, it's not going to hurt. Put that plastic stuff over it. I don't know what they call it. It's got tape around the edges. And you heat it with your with a hairdryer, and it's basically invisible, but makes a huge difference in cutting out drafts, especially in the cold.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good point.
I've also got, again, it was mentioned, I heat with wood. So, make sure your stove and your chimney are cleaned and in good shape. Your car battery, make sure your car battery is in good shape. If it's more than 5 years old, chances are you probably should think about replacing it, even if you think it's good. Because, of course, as we all know, when you don't want it to fail, it will in the middle of the night in a snowy parking lot. So, again, Eric talked about walking around your property. I'm saying check your roof. Have a look at your roof. Make sure that over the summer in the storms, you don't have any damage or missing shingles or anything like that.
Get some extra plastic for the roof.
Yep. Couple of tarps.
Yep.
Some nails and big washers. Absolutely.
And, Eric, they talked about the gutter guard thing. If you've got, and I have a problem on the one side of my roof, it doesn't get enough sun, and I get some ice buildup. So I have those electric cables. You just loop it on the roof, melts through the ice, and nothing's worse than water damage through the ice backing it up. So again, the winter bag for your vehicle, like I've got in there. I threw in another thing. Throw in some snacks. You never know when you're going to end up on that highway and that road closure for hours and hours and hours. Have some snacks or something in there. Make sure you've got some water. Yeah, it might freeze, but if it's
even if you're just stuck on the highway behind an accident, right? If you're, it just takes time. It takes time to clean up a collision. Even if you're not stuck in a ditch somewhere, you could just be stuck on the road for a while. Especially if you have kids, snacks make the world go round.
Absolutely, it does.
And I've been a
couple of times,
and I've been in it. I was a couple years ago. They had a huge crash on the 400, and I got stuck in the backup. And I was there for almost 2.5 hours.
Yep.
So, and it was the middle of January, and it was about -20 and a wind chill of about -35. So,
Yeah, that's a good point, Jeff.
fine.
This is when all the big crashes start to happen.
Yeah.
And
I drive
on that thing, I always carry extra fuel. I say to people, carry extra fuel if you can. If you've got a pickup truck, put it in the back. I understand in a car, you're not going to put it in your trunk, or you shouldn't. But if you can, carry extra fuel, because again, you're caught in that accident. You just didn't bother to get to the gas station that morning before.
You're screwed.
Half tank is empty.
Yep.
Jason's got a good point in the live chat here. Use your air compressor to blow out all your garden hoses.
Power that air
Fantastic
compressor
idea.
with your generator.
Yeah, and power. Yeah, there you go.
Actually, that's what I use to clean out my mom's trailer when I do the water lines. I just disconnect it from the water, put an air compressor on the end of it, open the taps, and just blow it right out.
That's great. No, that's
a good way to do it.
Absolutely. Yep.
And Pierre's got another good a good tip in the live chat here too for those out there that don't have a Costco membership. You can buy a gift card and use it. You don't need a membership to purchase or use gift cards. So
That's true.
thanks for the tip, Pierre. Appreciate it.
This episode brought to you by Costco.
Yep.
I think that's a rule. If we mention a store more than 3 times in the episode, we have to give them a shout out.
Sponsored by. Yep, I think so.
Why not, right? Why not?
Yep. Well, Kyle's got another good point in the live chat here as well. Make sure you've got a safety vest, triangles, if you ever have to work on a vehicle along the road. Great things to have, because you want to be seen. Sometimes you don't want to be seen. Situations like that, you do want to be seen. So
definitely.
I have one to add to that, to Kyle, that I have a couple of flashlights that they have a magnet on the bulb end, and the whole barrel, the whole assembly is clear. And it has an option to turn on a flashing red light. So you can stick that on the top of your car and turn the flashing red light on to let somebody know if you don't have triangles or something, to let them know that you are there on the side of the road in the dark.
Yeah. Well, that's a really good point, is especially in the winter, like anytime, any season, but especially wintertime, because you're going to be seeing a lot more crashes and a lot more things that could possibly disable your vehicle. Yeah, having a way to be seen, huge. Because
yes, like a traffic one, almost like a traffic one, Kyle.
Yep.
And the fact that there's less sunlight.
Yeah, that too. Yep, good point. Yeah, we're losing a lot of that sunlight. So, like I was saying, people don't pay attention at the best of times. And then if you're sitting on the side of the road or somewhere where they don't expect you to be, you want to be seen, and you want to be seen for a distance. So, some good points.
Yeah, I had a couple of points that you guys all talked on, just to make sure all the paths around your house are free and clear of any debris, so you're not walking through the snow and tripping over something like a rake or something at the early start of the season, and it doesn't get damaged under the snow all winter. And cut your grass one last time.
Yep.
I've heard that helps. I've never actually done it.
Well, you did. You just didn't plan on it. You always cut your grass one last time.
Yes,
you
were right.
Last time.
Yeah,
you were right.
In August, who cares?
What was that movie? Was it The Sandlot? One day you went out to play with your friends for the last time, and none of you knew that it was the last time.
Yes.
I think it was The Sandlot. Anyways.
Yeah, like you guys had said, get your snowblower looked at if you have to change a belt, like Jeff said, or change your fuel into it because it's been sitting there since the last time you used it and whatnot. Get some high tests for your snowblower, run it through for the first time of the year. Like you guys had said already as well, that make sure all your vehicles have the appropriate kits in them. I have a propane furnace. It's my first year with a propane furnace. When I bought this house 2 years ago, it had no furnace in it. But when they installed the furnace, I had them put an extra tank on the house. So I have plans in middle of November to call them, tell them, get out here and fill up my tanks before it gets to their busy season and they can't access the tanks too quickly. Empty any rain barrels around your house, your water bibs from the inside of the house, and turn the taps off. That would really suck if they froze and cracked in the wintertime. And Alan, you were saying earlier that your sump pumps don't stop running. Well, hopefully they don't have to run because the water's on the inside of the house.
That's the ideal. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And
like you said, clean your gutters. Walk your property tree line and make sure there's no dead branches now that the leaves are gone. They've hidden the dead branches throughout the season that they're going to fall on your house and cause damage.
Good points.
Yeah, I definitely need to dig my snowblower out. That's gonna be my next priority, I think.
Yeah.
And Unger makes a good point there in the live chat. Check on elderly people in your family or friends and see if they need help prepping something for the winter. It's easier to help them now than in the middle of winter. Absolutely.
Hey, Jeff, you okay there?
Yeah, why? Go away.
Well done, Alan. Well done. Yeah. Oh, well played. Well played. But that is a great point, Unger, is check on people now. That's a really good thing to keep in mind is we often focus on getting our own things all lined up and ready to go. And we forget that, go check on other people as well and make sure they're good. I see Scott here laughing in the live chat. Should probably
he can come on live and laugh if he wants to.
He could have. He had the option.
Saying we should probably all go check on him because I think he's the oldest panelist.
I think he is.
So yeah, he's pushing 97, I think.
By the way he talks, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just things like Keen and bees knees and
yep. Cat's meow. Yeah. Freya's got a good point in the live chat as well. Stock up on animal food in case the weather or world goes nuts and you can't get it.
Absolutely.
Good point. Yeah. We talk a lot about stocking up food for yourself and your family. But pets are family as well, right? So make sure that they've got enough food to go.
And livestock is future food, so it makes good sense to keep everybody happy and healthy until their time comes to be needed.
Exactly.
And test all your things. If you have a heater to keep a submersible heater to keep the water from freezing for your livestock, then make sure it works.
Yeah.
Whatever you normally do to keep your property going in the winter, run it now before you need to, so that it's ready to go when the time comes.
Kyle's got a good point in the live chat here. If you do insulate your pipes, make sure to mark them with red or blue electrical tape, just to be able to label which one's hot, which one's cold.
And make sure you mark the red one hot and the blue one cold. I may have made that mistake once and couldn't figure out why my washing machine wasn't working properly.
Well, it happens. But yeah, this is the time to go over your preps, go over your property, go over your home, make sure everything is in good working order. Because like I've mentioned a few times, the weather is perfect right now. October's nice. It's not too hot, not too cold. So you can get a lot of stuff done and just make sure that it's ready to go because the winter does beat things up and it's coming quickly. So now is the time to get ready for it and make sure that all your stuff is lined up, ready to go. Can't hurt to sit down and chat with family as well about plans for what if. Right? Yeah. Refresh the memory as to what you're going to do if a big snowstorm happens. What happens if it comes in and the kids are at school, if in-person school is still a thing come the wintertime, or mom and dad are at work and the kids are at home or whatever. Get those plans back into place and just use the time to refresh what you're going to do and how you're going to regroup if a big storm comes in or a big closure happens or something like that.
All those no-cost preps that we talked about last episode.
Yeah. Look at that tie in the last episode.
Now's the time to review them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys were talking earlier about the secondary heating option, and Pierre down here says, where was it here? Backup cooking option. Sorry.
Good point.
I have two. You go to a buffet every so often, and the ones that I've been to, anyways, have the little butane stove that the chef or the line cook, whatever, will cook your eggs to order. Yep. Those things you can run inside with not a whole lot of worry about the propane or the kerosene CO emissions. and I have two of them, and they work beautifully. If I sit them next to my kitchen sink, which is right at the window, crack the window just a little bit, and use that, and they last for quite a while on one can. I have 15 cans, and I've only bought them 3 times, and I've had my stoves 7 years. The cans last quite a while, and they're perfectly safe to store anywhere.
Nice.
Now, just for clarity, butane still does produce carbon monoxide, but it's very clean burning. It's a very clean burning fuel, so it will produce less. Absolutely, you're correct.
Yes. You don't have to open
minutes, 30 seconds.
You don't have to open 6 windows to air it out. You just need one window open, and I use it right next to that window, and it cooks beautifully.
Yep.
There's another tip from Kyle in the live chat. They split the cost of a commercial cutting and splitter among 3 families, so it cuts the time down, and a great use for a mag. So good point. Getting a log splitter.
Log splitters. Log splitter saved my life. I have a neighbor that has one, and that was fantastic.
Yeah, I stole Jeff's once. They're fantastic. I gave it back though. Yeah.
Kyle's been counting for us.
He's got the official scorecard. Yep.
Kyle is now,
that a bingo,
has now
Kyle?
been nominated.
Got 8 of them now. Is it a bingo?
Yeah.
He's been nominated to be our official stats keeper.
Yep. Oh, jeez. So, anything else to throw out there for winter preps? Anything we missed? Live chat's been great with covering a couple of holes that we missed here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's basically now's now's the time to just go over everything. Don't get too overwhelmed with thinking you have to deep dive into everything, but just give a good overview of what you've got, what you may need, and just get ready for Old Man Winter because he's showing up soon.
Are your boots still waterproof? Have they cracked over the summer? Do they need a new coat of silicone or mink oil or whatever it is? So we'll just now whatever it is that you need, find that stuff and make it happen.
Yeah, some general upkeep. Now's the time to do it.
Yep.
Make sure everything's ready to go, and then repeat the same when we do an episode at the end of the winter for getting ready for spring.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure we'll do
the
an episode
opposite,
on that
right?
as well. Exactly.
Pretty much.
Well, with that, shall we move into the podcast challenge?
You should have your car fully prepped for winter by Thanksgiving. Now, for our American listeners, that's Canadian Thanksgiving, which is next weekend.
Yeah.
For you crazy Americans that celebrate it in November, that's too late.
Yeah.
So our Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Real Thanksgiving.
Why wait that long to have turkey? Come on.
Just have turkey again 6 weeks later, you know?
Well,
why not?
I like that idea, actually. That works. We'll just do 2 Thanksgivings.
Yep.
I got a turkey fryer.
Well, there you go.
Don't use that
upcoming events. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Add another one to the scorecard, Kyle. So, upcoming events. MapleseedRifleman.com/events. I think it's still a thing.
Maybe. Who knows?
Besides that, we don't have any events.
Nothing's happening.
No, just the way the world is. So,
thanks, Trudeau.
Yeah. Deal of the week. Yeah. So, Canadian Tire has a Blue Hive power banks on sale at 65% savings till October 7th. So check those out. Normally they're $80 and they're down to 25.
Ooh,
fancy dancy. So that's the actual price versus the marked up price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we've said before,
I've got a couple of Blue Hive stuff and they're good.
Okay, I'd never heard of them before, so it's good to hear they're good.
Yeah.
All right. Moving to shout outs. So,
I'm going to shout out Kyle.
Yeah.
our nominated official statistics keeper for all of our references. That's
our new statistician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I've got a quick shout out to everyone that's emailed in recently or lately. I have neglected the inbox for a little bit. And prior to the show tonight, I went through it and replied to a bunch of emails, and just wanted to say a quick thanks to those who've emailed in and either let us know that we've helped you out with a few things or have sent in some show ideas. It's much appreciated, because it takes a little bit to figure out what we want to talk about every week. So if we know what people want to hear, it just makes life a lot easier.
We talk about three basic things. We talk about Ian, we talk about wood gasifiers, we talk about carbon monoxide.
Yeah, this is true. All three things
Everything
are
else
on
is
your
fluff.
official. Yeah, all three things are on your official stat card. You can get those at prepperpodcast.ca while you're buying some swag. You can play along every Sunday. All right, let's move into email and iTunes reviews. So we've got an email from Unger. It says, listening to the latest podcast, number 131, and you put a call out for fuel storage ideas. So here's a few of mine. Currently looking at getting a slip tank or transfer tank for the back of my truck. So typical tanks hold about 100 gallons. When I get one, I will fill both my vehicles from it instead of going to the gas station. So then the fuel tank, instead keeping the fuel fresh, it's always in your vehicle, easily locked. Insurance companies who limit the amount of fuel you're allowed to store on the property can't say squat. Fair enough.
All right.
Also, my wife will enjoy not having the fuel up anymore. I will still have the standard jerry cans in the shed in case my vehicle isn't there when shit hits the fan. It's got another fuel idea for a mag group or family group is seeing about getting a card lock fuel card. You can typically save a nickel per liter by doing that. You need to work out a system of who got how much fuel and how to pay for it, but it's usually pretty easy. Something to think about when storing fuel is the difference in summer and winter fuels and when they change over. I believe it's the first week in November to winter additives, and that get added to the fuel the first week of May when they go back to summer. But don't quote them on that. So somewhere in and around there.
I believe you just did quote him on that, Eric.
I did, yeah. So you've been quoted, Unger. Sorry. Home heating oil can be used in diesel engines, but more modern vehicles don't overly like it. So vehicles with diesel particulate filter really don't like it. So only use it in the last case scenario. In a shit hit the fan situation, most road or heavy equipment construction companies have large fuel tanks with 120 volt pumps on their property. So having a small generator, rudimentary electrical skills, and a master key, in quotes, may be useful. Almost all have diesel tanks. Some have gas as well. Again, only true in a shit hit the fan moment. So we don't condone you just breaking into places and stealing gas. That's
No.
As long
terrible
as
idea.
long as the rule of law is in place, this is not a good idea. You will be liable for it. We do not condone that at all.
Nope.
What you do with your own time, however, is none of our business. Just don't.
You're
tell
all
us about
adults. Yep, you're all adults. You make your own decisions, whether
God,
they're
I
poor or
hope
not.
so.
Yep, I hope so.
Based on what we talk about.
Nope. Another thing we're thinking of, since Jeff won't get his ham license, if you want to have a conversation on the air about the podcast, be welcome to join you on a repeater to have that chat.
And you're now off my Christmas card list.
who me or Unger?
Both.
Yes.
You were never on it though, Eric. So
And Unger, I will take you up on that invitation to have a chat on the ham network at some point, because
so
why not?
just the one thing I'll comment on. I don't know what kind of fuel you're considering putting in those big tanks in the back of your truck. Mm-hmm. Most of them specifically and clearly state that they are for diesel fuel only, not for gas, and it's mainly because they don't vent very well. And of course, gas expands and contracts a lot more, and you have to have it vented, or you may end up with more problems than you thought you were going to solve. But yeah, a lot of them say diesel only. If you can find one that's gas, great. But a lot of them in the back there are for diesel only.
Or if you have a diesel truck, then it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
One or the other.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And we got another email. Go ahead.
Something else to think about. Anybody wanting to store fuel like that who has any inclinations of starting a small hobby farm, if you register your farm and one vehicle is registered to the farm, then you have you're basically able to get a fuel company to drop off a tank for you, whether it's gas or diesel, like one of those tanks, like Unger was saying about the construction companies, those big 5,000 or 6,000 liter tanks, you can legally have one on your property because it is for your farm. They usually have a pretty good discount on filling up the tank for you. My dad has his own farm agritourism business, and we have 3 tanks on the property. One is regular diesel, one is dyed diesel, and one is high test gas. And the only reason he can have that, the tractors and his personal vehicle is listed as a farm vehicle, so he can have the gas, the regular gas. There's many times in the middle of the winter, he's gone to fill up his vehicle from that gas tank to be able to go and get groceries, whatnot, when there's a power outage, there's a winter storm coming. Something to keep in mind.
And
There may also be some tax advantages to that.
Yeah, I was gonna
There
say,
most
I think,
definitely is
I think
tax
the dyed
advantages to
diesel
that.
is either no tax or very little tax, if I'm not mistaken.
It's also not street
There is-
legal. Again, be very aware of what you're doing so that you
If
don't
you
get
ever
yourself
get
into
stopped by-
trouble.
By the MTO or whatever,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Yeah,
There are rules around that. There are ways
rules
around
around
that.
it.
But yes, be
as
careful.
long as you're, as long as you're able to do that legally, that's an excellent option to be able to buy in bulk.
Yes.
And potentially avoid having to go pilfering, which would be the ideal. So we also got an email from Aaron and Oren, and it says, "Hi, listen to the food rotation episode first, then caught up on the 3D printing episode while installing and doing inventory with your tips. Thanks for the generator advice. We think we'll go with a portable fuel one and invest in a solar changeable lithium battery that can stay in the house when it runs and store in a Faraday box. Loving all the tips and great guests. Thanks for being part of our prepared tribe." Well, Aaron Noren, thank you so much for listening. Glad you got to catch up there. Both of those episodes were a lot of fun, and it sounds like you got a solid setup there. If you feel comfortable with it, we'd love to see a picture of how it works. Shoot it into feedback@prepperpodcast.ca.
That'd be awesome.
We'd love to
and
see
just
that.
so everybody's clear, Kyle is absolutely the winner this week. Somebody asked who Ian is, and he identified him as the Vancouver Island Unicorn. He is the winner.
Kyle, you just won the internet.
Your patch is in the mail.
That's good.
That's Ian's new nickname. Fantastic.
Vancouver Island Unicorn.
So-
If you listen quietly across Victoria, you can hear his call. CGN, CGN, CGN.
Oh, wow. Well, with that, I will bring episode number 132 of the Canadian Prepper Podcast to an end. You can find the podcast on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, or, of course, your favorite podcast app. Please help us out. Submit a review. It helps other people find us, and it might even bring Ian back.
We do record these shows live on Facebook and YouTube for now. If you want an early peek at the shows, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Canadian Prepper Podcast, and click the notifications tab. That gives you an alert when we're going live. You can contact me at alan@prepperpodcast.ca, and that's Alan with one L.
And you can get me just at the generic feedback@prepperpodcast.ca. One of them will track me down. Or hunt
All
me
of a
down,
sudden-
maybe would be a better word for it.
I would send you any correspondence via ham, but yeah, it won't work. So.
Yeah. I can be reached at monkman038@gmail.com if anybody wants to send something my way.
Awesome. And please check out Rapid Survival at rapidsurvival.com. You can get me there in the live chat, or you can also email me at feedback@prepperpodcast.ca. So thanks for joining us this evening. Until next time, be prepared, stay safe.
And check your CO alarms.